grouping of three cube roots of unity 1 omega and omega square is isomorphic to the group G dash of the residue classes mod 3 under addition. Okay, so for this elements you have operation multiplication, and for mod 3 you have operation addition. Can you have multiplication table for these two operations? If it is mod 3, it means the elements of G dash are, can you tell me elements of G dash? Do you remember mod 3, Zm, Z3, something like that?
1 and 2.
No, 0, 1 and 2. Because it is addition, no? So we should include 0. Okay. So G dash is 0, 1, 2 and G is equal to 1 omega and omega square. Is it clear now? So it is easy for you to find the multiplication table for this one. And then I'll show you the answer, how it can be, how they are isomorphic to each one. You only come to know how they are isomorphic. Multiplication table is the best, easiest solution to find the mapping, one-to-one mapping. Are you all getting same answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, here we have to check whether they are isomorphic or not. Isomorphic, for isomorphism, we have to check whether x is equal to y. And this x belongs to some g and y belongs to g dash. So there is some x in g which is equal to some y in g dash. Equal to nothing is nothing but they're same in nature. Okay, it is not like 1 equal to 1. Okay, so here you have to compare 1 omega omega square with 0, 1 and 2, and you have to check whether they are is there any one-to-one correspondence between them or not. So if you look at these tables properly, this 1 can be easily replaced by 0. Check all the positions of 1. 1 is here and here, and check all positions of 0, 0, 0 and 0. So they are one-to-one, they are having one-to-one correspondence. So 1 I am replacing with 0. Now here we are saying that residue classes, so that is why these elements are written in curly brackets. Okay, what are residue classes or maybe classes, you'll come to know in unit 4, relations and function. Okay, after that, can you tell me omega is equal to which value we can map omega to?
1.
1. Correct. So omega to 1 and omega square to 2. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this way we can say that there is one-to-one correspondence between the elements of G dash and G, and hence it is isomorphic. Now this one-to-one correspondence is also called as injective function or injective relation. Okay, so here is your answer. You just have to draw this multiplication table if something like this is given, and they have already given that it is isomorphic. You just have to prove it. So just find out whether there is one-to-one correspondence or not, and if it is not there, you can directly say that it is not an isomorphic. Okay, so is there any doubt in this one? I'll stop this one. I'll give you another example. Write down. Show that the additive group G show that the additive group G is equal to, in round brackets, Write down this one. Can you see the screen? G is equal to -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, dash, dash, dash is an isomorphic group to the additive group G -2m, -m, 0, m, 2m. Now this example is very tricky. I don't want you to solve it. Just understand it. I'll explain it to you. Okay. Now how to solve these type of example? Now the one we have solved previously was very simple because you know how to calculate a multiplication table and all those things. But here we have to define a function for these two groups. Okay. Now the very first one group is additive group for these numbers, and second one is also additive group for these numbers. So if you consider the mapping from, also you have to define the mapping also. It is supposed to be given in the example only, but that's okay, we can have it. So f is a function from G to G dash. Okay, so it means whatever coming from G is your input and whatever goes to your G dash is the output. Are you getting this? How we write functions? Yes, girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? So f of a is nothing but this a is coming from G and is equal to ma is nothing but G dash. So you always map this a is nothing but element from domain and this ma is nothing but element from codomain, and this is how we defined a function mathematically. Graphically we draw those two ovals and then we map the elements of domain with codomain. Okay, so here this function is straightforward because this is just a constant number, so we have written it with a, and in the next additive group that is G dash, which is our codomain, is having 2 into m or m into 2, some constant number. Okay, so what we have done, this m is constant and this a value is changing, which is coming from this thing. Okay, so this is how we have defined this function, these two groups in the form of function f of a is equal to ma. Now our task has become simple now because we have got function. Now we have to use the property that f of x into y is equal to f of x star dash f of y. Am I right? F of x star y is equal to f of x star dash f of y. That you have to prove. Now you have got this function. So how you'll be putting the values of a and ma over here using this operation addition. Okay, so we have this operation addition. So this a will be replaced by a plus b. Okay, so this value will be reflected over here in the left hand side also. So this m into a plus b, which is ma plus mb, so which is giving us f of a plus f of b. Am I right? So your f of a plus b is equal to f of a plus f of b. Now here both the functions are same, both the operations are same, sorry. Operations of g and g dash are same. Till now we have seen one multiplication operation and one addition operation. So what we used to say, f of x into y is equal to f of x plus f of y, or f of x plus y is equal to f of x into f of y. And then we used to say that is isomorphic or homomorphic. Now here both functions are addition, so on the left hand side and right hand side we will have plus plus. Okay, so f of what we have to prove, f of a plus b is equal to f of a plus f of b. So have we proved it?
Yes.
Yes, and hence we are saying that it is isomorphic. So if it is isomorphic, can we say it is homomorphic also? Just forget about one-to-one correspondence.
Yes.
Just proving this thing is nothing but homomorphism. Getting this? Okay. Next example. Huh. बोलो.
Ma'am, in one of the example of homomorphism, we had proved that f of a plus b is f of a into f of b.
Correct.
So then when do we prove that and when do we prove this?
Because you have to look for the operation, dear. See, here the group G has operation addition, and group G dash is also has operation addition. Are you getting this? In the function where f of a plus b is equal to f of a into f of b, the domain has operation addition and codomain has operation multiplication. That is why on the right hand side there is multiplication and left hand side there is addition. But here both are having same operation, addition. So on the left hand side and right hand side we'll have plus plus.
Yes, okay, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Now the exponential operation, we have already seen this, but I'll just explain it to you. So this is prove exponent r to r cross. r cross मतलब multiplication. Okay, यहाँ पे r plus लिखेंगे तो मतलब एडिशन ऑपरेशन है. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पे ये जस्ट रीड आउट दिस स्टेटमेंट, यू विल कम टू नो दैट कोई भी ग्रुप एक्सप्लिसिटली लिखा हुआ नहीं है कि कहाँ से लेना है, कोई भी ऑपरेशन एक्सप्लिसिटली लिखा हुआ नहीं है, इट इज ऑल इन द मैथमेटिकल फॉर्म. So you have to find out which operation is given, which sets you have to consider, and what function is given. Okay, so this exp is nothing but exponential e raised to x thing. Can you get this? Exponent.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so that is our function f of x is equal to e raised to x. Then our domain is R, set of real numbers, and our codomain is also R. But the operation given here is, operation given here is multiplication. R cross is there. Okay, and for this I guess they forgot to mention plus, but it is supposed to be plus over here. R plus to R cross. Okay, so it is an injective group homomorphism. Injective means one to one. Group homomorphism. So homomorphism के साथ when you attach one to one correspondence, it becomes isomorphism. So here they want to ask you or they want you to prove that it is an isomorphism indirectly. Okay, so first we'll prove whether it is homomorphic or not, and then we'll check whether it is having one to one correspondence or not by checking whether x is equal to y or not, the one we did for log x. Okay, now similar we know that r plus to r cross hai, and we have exponent function. So exp x plus y is on the left hand side because r plus is on the is our domain, is equal to e raised to x plus y. Okay, so this x plus y can be written like this, and which is nothing but exp of x and exp of y. So here we have proved that it is homomorphism. Is there any doubt in this one? This is very simple example. We have discussed 2 raised to a in the last lecture.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, now here we have to prove whether it is injective or not. Injective means one to one correspondence. So we'll just see e raised to, we'll just compare these two values with each other. E raised to x is equal to e raised to y, and if we remove this e, we can directly get x is equal to y by putting log on the both sides. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. In the previous example, like you were getting 1 is equal to 0, omega is equal to 1, and omega square is equal to 2. In the same way, we don't have any multiplication table. We have an expression and function. Using that, we are proving that this x is equal to y, and hence this homomorphism is an injective group homomorphism. Okay. So if capital G has addition operation, then H should be a group under operation addition. Okay, it is like subset. So whatever G is satisfying, H should also satisfy. So if G is a group, then H should be satisfying all properties of group and it should be subset of group G. So if G is our set of integers, then H can be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 0, 1, 2, 3 or minus 1, minus 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, something like that. Okay? Then write down cosets. This thing. Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Cosets? Yes. Please write down and I'll explain. यहाँ तक लिखो, left coset तक. I'll read out the definition. Suppose H is a subgroup of G and small a belongs to capital G. Then this set HA is equal to small ha, where small h belongs to capital H, is called right coset of H because that small a is on the right side of H, and AH is called left coset of H because A is on the left side of H. Now, there are few operations which are commutative and there are few operations which are not commutative. So, in that case, HA will not be equal to AH. So that HA is nothing, is not multiplication always. The operation will be the one given in the example. So if the operation is addition, that HA can be written as H plus A is equal to small h plus A. If the operation is multiplication, then it will remain same. I want you to solve this example on your own without taking my help. It is very simple concept. So write down H is equal to 0, 2, 4, 6. ठीक है, and G is equal to capital Z. Z means set of Z8. I want it to be Z8. इसको subscript करना. Are you all able to see this tab, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So इसको ना subscript करो, Z8 करो. There is no option over here. Okay, fine. Then I want you to find out for and G is additive group. I hope you understand meaning of this word now, additive group. Find HA and AH. Sorry. So what will be the values of G? Can someone tell me? Z8 है and it is an additive group.
0 to 7.
Correct. Correct. Good girls. Now it is easy for you. You know where to take, from where you have to take the value of small h and from where you have to take the value of small a. Should I write down here? A belongs to, okay, I don't have that symbol. Do I? Let me see if I can. Yes, A belongs to capital G and small h belongs to capital H. So who is going to tell me the value of HA? So, sorry, capital H. I'll write down plus over here. Yes. Am I right?
It should be 2, na? 2
Where?
plus 0 to.
Sorry, 2. Likewise, you should get all the values. Our last value will be 6 plus 7. Are you getting same thing? And similarly, A plus H, capital H. Now you know that addition is commutative. You have AH is equal to HA. Am I right? Okay, those who have solved, I will just give you another example to solve. So h is equal to 4z and g is equal to 0 1 2 3. Point. Again, g is an additive group. Is there any doubt, girls?
Ma'am, what is 4Z here?
Z is set of capital Z. It is capital Z set of integers. See, capital Z, capital R, you have to, take the standard definitions of them. So they are always set of integers, of set of real numbers, set of natural numbers, whole numbers. 4Z कैसे होगा आपका सबका? 4Z. -1 into 4 minus, sorry, 0 into 4, 1 into 4, or you can say 4 into 1. Then, okay, I better write 4 into 2 or something like that.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
in the first question,
Hello.
we have to find HA and
Hmm.
AH. And in solution, we have found A plus H. So G is additive, that's why. Or is there any other reason?
No. So if we have asked to find cosets, it may be given HA or AH. You have to consider the operation of the operation given in that problem. Okay, it won't be multiplication always. So your 4Z is like this. Am I right? इसको थोड़ा reduce करते हैं. Dot dot dot. Sorry. -8, comma, -4, comma 0, comma 4, comma 8, something like that. So it's simple. You have 4Z. It means you have H, you have G. Find out HA and AH. Nothing but H plus A and A plus H, because it is additive.
Ma'am, so we have to consider HA and AH to be H plus A and A plus H. Always.
No. What is the operation given here? Addition, no?
Yes.
That is why we are taking plus.
Okay.
If it is given that G is multiplicative group, then we'll take multiplication over here.
Okay.
Hmm?
आपण ज्यावेळेस सेकंड क्वेश्चन सॉल्व्ह करत होतो ना त्यावेळेस 4Z मध्ये आपण 4 म्हणजे निगेटिव्ह नंबर्स पण कन्सिडर केलं. आणि
Yes.
ज्यावेळेस फर्स्ट आपण सॉल्व्ह करतो त्या Z8 ची व्हॅल्यू आपण 0 to 7 का घेतली? यामध्ये निगेटिव्ह का नाही कन्सिडर केलं?
Yes, because this is your plus, no? Okay, I should write plus also. Z8 प्लस होगा ये आपका मॉड 8 का ये जो होता है ना, दिस इज मॉड 8, मॉड्यूलो 8 अंडर एडिशन. So that is why we always take it from 0 to 7. When there is Z8 or Z9 or Z7 under operation addition, you'll consider all positive numbers. Even for multiplication, you'll consider all positive numbers.
So ma'am, here also it's under addition only in second question.
Yes, it is in second question, but there is no modulo operation. So the entire set of integers you have to consider. Got
Okay,
this?
ma'am.
Yeah. आप वो ZM वाला जो हमने डिस्कस किया था ना, when we started discussing groups, just go through those notes. You'll come to know how Zm is written. It is always 0 to m minus 1. Okay, are you done? So that we can proceed for the next. Should I stop sharing that tab? Is there any doubt, girls? Okay, chalo. We are back to this page now. So write down normal subgroups. A subgroup H of G is a normal subgroup if A inverse HA is subset of H for every A belongs to G, or equivalently if AH is equal to HA, that is left coset is equal to right coset, then we say that it is a normal subgroup. We have discussed abelian group, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in abelian group, we say that a group which satisfy commutative property is an abelian group. So here also we are looking for AH is equal to HA. It is possible only when your operation is commutative. So every subgroup of an abelian group is normal subgroup. Are you getting this? Because if a group is an abelian group, it means its operation is commutative. And uska agar aap subset nikaloge, subset in the sense subgroup nikaloge, so it will always satisfy this property. AH is equal to HA. You'll always get right and left cosets as equal. And hence we can say that all subgroups of an abelian group is normal subgroup. Got this? Is there any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So those two examples we have solved, we are getting AH is equal to HA. Can we say they are the subgroup H is normal subgroup? Can we say that? See here, okay. Okay, start writing this definition. It is very big definition. Is it visible? Rings, integral domain and fields. So write down rings. So for groups, we have considered only one operation and one set. So a set along with an operation, we said it is an algebraic system, and if it is satisfying a few properties, then we accordingly call it semi-group, monoid, or group, or abelian group. But as I have told you that algebraic system can have more than one operation. So here we have rings as an algebraic system, one of the algebraic system, which has more than one operation. So we are dealing with two operations here, addition and multiplication compulsorily. Okay, so when you talk about rings, you're talking about two operations, addition and multiplication. In case of groups and semi-group and monoid, the operation was given in the problem statement. But here, in case of rings, it will be always addition and multiplication. Okay, so for addition, it has to satisfy all properties of groups. For the operation addition, it should satisfy all properties of groups. It means it should be associative, it should be having an identity element, it should be having an inverse, and it should be commutative. So it is nothing but abelian group. So for addition operation, it should be an abelian group, and for multiplication, we are considering only one property, that is associative property, and for addition and multiplication, we are talking about distributive property. So for a given operation, for a given algebraic system, if you want to check whether it is ring or not, you have to check all these. So first you have to check this R1 to R4 is nothing but properties of abelian group under addition operation. Okay, so it just look big, but then it is simple. So for addition, you'll be checking all properties of abelian group, and for multiplication, you'll just check whether it is associative or not. And then you'll check distributive property for addition and multiplication. And if all these properties are satisfied for that particular by that particular algebraic system, we'll say that it is a ring. Okay, now here for multiplication, they are not expecting an identity element, they are not expecting inverses of multiplication, that is 1 by a. For addition, we have negative. Okay, there is new term, that additive inverse. Can you see this? When I say 3 minus 2 is equal to 1, can I write down it like this? 3 plus minus 1 is equal to 1. Can I say like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is nothing but adding negatives. Are you getting this? This is nothing but adding negatives. But instead of negatives, here in abstract algebra, what we call it? Inverses. So additive inverses, we call it additive inverses. This negation of a, that is inverse for the addition operation, is called as an additive inverse. Similarly, when we write 3 by 4, it is nothing but 3 into 1 by 4. Okay, so that 1 by 4 is nothing but multiplicative inverse. Are you getting this? It is opposite of opposites, but then what we call it? Inverses. So for addition, we call it additive inverses. For multiplication, we call it multiplicative inverses. So in case you get any of the terms, in case of rings, integral field, integral domains and field, then you should know that additive inverse is nothing but minus a, or you have to check inverses of the operation addition. And multiplicative inverses means you have to check for the inverses of operation multiplication. Okay, so for rings, they are not expecting multiplicative inverses nor the identity element for multiplication, that is 1, nor they are looking for the commutative of property for the multiplication. Okay, they are just looking for this property. But when your ring is having identity element, that is 1 for multiplication, then we call it as identity ring. It is there in the next, that is the next topic. So if you are done with this one, I'll just go to the next topic. Have you written all this? यहाँ तक लिखना है आपको, till
No, ma'am, wait.